Emma had always been the heart of her friend's circle, bright, charming, and impossible to ignore. Moving to New York for college, she wasn't just chasing education. She was chasing the thrill of new beginnings. She never imagined that her first week would bring so much more than textbooks and lectures. At a campus party, she met Liam. There was an instant spark, a kind of electricity that made conversations effortless. His laughter was contagious, his confidence magnetic. They exchanged numbers, and by the end of the week, texts had turned into long calls, and long calls into evenings spent together exploring the city. But Emma's life wasn't just about Liam. She quickly became friends with his circle, Marcus, Jaden, and others who were all charismatic in their own ways. Each friendship brought new excitement, laughter, and a sense of belonging she hadn't anticipated. Yet, beneath the surface, she noticed subtle rivalries and unspoken feelings, the kind that could turn simple friendships into complicated entanglements. Emma felt herself drawn to this dynamic, enjoying the thrill of attention from multiple directions while her heart leaned toward Liam. She knew she was stepping into tricky territory, but the emotional intensity was intoxicating. The challenge was balancing affection, loyalty, and curiosity without crossing lines she couldn't come back from. As autumn leaves fell around the campus, Emma realized that love wasn't just about one person. It was about navigating connections, trust, and emotions that could either heal or hurt. And the next few weeks promised a roller coaster she wasn't sure she was ready for.
As the semester unfolded, Emma found herself more entangled in Liam's world than she had ever imagined. Their relationship was warm, comfortable, and filled with laughter, but the constant presence of his friends added layers of complexity she hadn't anticipated. Marcus was witty in a way that made her heart skip. Jaden's quiet attentiveness caught her off guard, and even the casual teasing from others made her feel special in a way she hadn't expected. Emma loved Liam, there was no doubt about that. Yet, the attention she received from his friends awakened a curiosity she couldn't ignore, a pull toward understanding herself and her own emotions. Each smile, each shared joke, each late-night conversation with someone in Liam's circle felt electric. She found herself laughing more, thinking more, questioning the boundaries she had always believed in. Meanwhile, Liam remained blissfully unaware of the subtle shifts. He was absorbed in his studies and in trying to plan small surprises for Emma. Yet, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that balancing her heart and the admiration she received from his friends was becoming harder by the day. Every glance from Marcus or a lingering conversation with Jaden felt thrilling, yet carried a weight she couldn't fully articulate. The group often hung out together, exploring the city, grabbing coffee, or staying up late watching movies in cramped apartments. Emma cherished these moments, but sometimes she felt a gnawing tension. Was she playing with fire? She told herself it was harmless, that she wasn't doing anything wrong. But as the lines between friendship and attraction blurred, Emma couldn't ignore the emotional tug-of-war she felt inside. It was in these quiet, ordinary moments that Emma realized love wasn't simple. It was messy, layered, and sometimes more about navigating emotions than just being with one person. And she knew, deep down, that the coming weeks would test her heart in ways she wasn't ready to face.
As winter approached, the cozy evenings in New York brought Emma closer to Liam, but also deeper into the orbit of his friends. The group became almost like a second family, full of laughter, teasing, and shared secrets. Emma loved the warmth of it all, yet she couldn't deny the subtle pull she felt toward Marcus and Jaden, different, yet intoxicating in their own ways. One Friday evening, the group decided to take a spontaneous trip to a nearby winter festival. Lights twinkled across the streets and laughter echoed through the air. Liam held Emma's hand tightly, his smile full of contentment. But as she talked to Marcus about the festival's history, she noticed the way his eyes lingered on her. It wasn't inappropriate, just warm, curious, but Emma felt a thrill she hadn't expected. Later, Jaden struck up a conversation about music. They ended up wandering away from the crowd, sharing their favorite songs, swapping playlists, and laughing over inside jokes that only the two of them understood. Liam was somewhere nearby, unaware, and Emma couldn't shake the mixture of guilt and excitement coursing through her. By the end of the night, the crisp winter air and the sparkling lights had created a sort of magic, a haze where boundaries felt blurred. Emma realized that her emotions weren't just tugging in one direction. They were being pulled in multiple, unpredictable ways. She loved Liam, undeniably, but she also found herself drawn to the intensity and attention she received from his friends. Returning home, Emma faced her reflection in the mirror. She wondered if navigating these complicated connections was a test of her heart, or a dangerous game she was playing without realizing it. One thing was clear: nothing would ever be simple again. Her world was expanding, her feelings multiplying, and the tension that simmered beneath the surface was only going to grow. The following weeks were a whirlwind of emotions for Emma. Winter had settled over the city, and the city lights reflected the complexity of her feelings. Liam remained her anchor, his love steady and unwavering, but the attention and subtle flirtations from his friends, especially Marcus and Jaden, kept her heart teetering on the edge. It all came to a head during a group study session at Marcus's apartment. The group crowded around the coffee table, books open, laptops humming. Laughter filled the room, and for a moment, Emma forgot the tension simmering beneath the surface. But as Liam excused himself to take a call, Marcus leaned a little closer, and Jaden's playful teasing turned sharper, more personal. Emma felt an undeniable thrill. She knew her feelings were shifting in ways she hadn't anticipated, and the warmth of their attention was intoxicating. It wasn't about betrayal, it was about the emotional intensity, the connection she shared with people who knew Liam intimately yet also saw a different side of her. When Liam returned, everything seemed normal on the surface, but Emma felt the weight of her divided attention. She wanted to be honest with him, yet the thought of disrupting the fragile balance of friendships and relationships terrified her. Every laugh, every shared glance with Marcus or Jaden now carried a hidden charge, one that Emma couldn't quite control. That night, alone in her apartment, she reflected on her emotions. She realized that love wasn't about possession, it was about navigating hearts, emotions, and connections. Even when they became messy, Emma understood that the coming weeks would force her to confront choices she had been avoiding, and the decisions she made could change everything: her relationship with Liam, her friendships, and even her own understanding of who she was. By mid-semester, the emotional tension had reached its peak. Emma could feel it in every group hangout: the lingering glances, the subtle teasing, and the unspoken words that hovered between her and Liam's friends. What had once been innocent fun now carried a weight she couldn't ignore. One evening, the group went ice skating at a popular rink downtown. The city lights sparkled on the ice, and laughter echoed around them. But Emma's mind was elsewhere. As Liam helped her tie her skates, Marcus jokingly bumped into her, and for a fleeting moment, her heart raced in a way she hadn't expected. Jaden offered to skate with her, holding her hand as they glided around the rink. Liam noticed nothing, or perhaps he chose not to. But Emma felt an undeniable tension, the thrill of attention colliding with the guilt of divided emotions. She knew she had to confront her own heart, yet every attempt to clarify her feelings seemed impossible amidst the group dynamics. Later that night, back at Marcus's apartment, the friends gathered for hot chocolate. The room was cozy, filled with laughter, music, and warmth, but Emma felt a distance growing between her and Liam. The unspoken complexity of emotions, her own and theirs, was like a silent storm waiting to erupt. Alone, Emma reflected on the week's events. She realized that love, friendship, and loyalty were not simple equations. Every choice carried consequences. Every glance and gesture had meaning, and every emotion was a thread that could either weave a stronger bond or tear everything apart. She knew the coming days would demand honesty, clarity, and courage, the kind that could either save her relationships or shatter them forever. The winter semester was drawing to a close, and Emma felt the weight of her emotions heavier than ever. The thrill of attention from Liam's friends, the warmth of their laughter, and the excitement of new experiences had brought both joy and confusion. But now, clarity was unavoidable. One evening, as snow quietly fell outside her apartment window, Emma sat down with Liam, the city lights reflected in her eyes as she took a deep breath. "I need to be honest with you," she said softly. Liam looked at her, concern and love mixing in his gaze. She spoke of her feelings, the excitement she felt around his friends, the emotional complexity she hadn't understood before, and her own confusion. Liam listened, quiet but attentive. He didn't react with anger or accusation, but with a calm that surprised her. "I appreciate your honesty," he said. "Love isn't always simple. It's messy. It's complicated. But what matters is understanding each other and choosing to grow together." That conversation marked a turning point. Emma realized that the thrill of emotional attention could never replace the foundation of trust and commitment. She shared with Liam. She chose to set boundaries, valuing the friendships in her life while protecting the relationship that mattered most. In the weeks that followed, Emma navigated her friendships with care, enjoying the camaraderie and warmth without allowing the intensity to jeopardize her bond with Liam. They explored the city together, laughed over inside jokes, and faced challenges hand in hand. The emotional roller coaster had taught her that love was about balance, honesty, and courage, knowing when to embrace excitement and when to honor commitment. By the time spring arrived, Emma understood herself better than ever. Her heart was her own to navigate, but she had chosen clarity, trust, and love. And in doing so, she realized that relationships, though messy, complicated, and thrilling, could also be beautiful, enduring, and transformative.